the less he can conduct this war. 2, they would have given us a border deal that anybody in their right mind could say, all right, this seems worthy of this compromise. And 3, Scott Perry, Congressman Scott Perry, on Friday when we had him on, said, how about cutting substantial amounts rather than just adding this burden on the American people? So how are you feeling today after seeing these shenanigans? One of the all-time, I mean, this is how bad it gets with Democrats. We have a bill before the House soon by a Republican from Florida to say you can't be waving foreign flags on the floor of the House. You know it, and I know it. Democrats were going nuts because they won, because they got what they wanted and didn't give up anything. And they helped Joe Biden in the process. So are you still in the camp out there that says, well, you see it all wrong? It's 5-dimensional, it's 10-dimensional chess, whatever that is. And Mike Johnson is playing them in some way that I just can't figure out. Here is Gerald Connolly, one of the worst of the Democrats, one of the most partisan imaginable. Listen to what he says about our borders, not America's borders, but the Democrats' borders. Here's Connolly in full throat once they had won.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border. It's the border between depraved autocracy and freedom-loving people seeking our democratic way of life. Do we have a stake in that outcome? Yes. Undeniably, yes. Will we rise to the occasion? Will we stand shoulder to shoulder with our Ukrainian
he's got that
brothers
too,
and sisters who for 1,151 days have been holding off the depraved, thuggish dictator Vladimir Putin, who has respected no norms of warfare? He's targeted children in hospitals and schools. He's bombed apartment blocks, killing thousands.
Oh, he ended there. Okay. You know why I'm good on this? Why I'm good on this? Because I despise Putin more than this Democrat does. I say all the time, he is stone cold, unbelievable evil. I'm in agreement with that. Plutonium in my teapot, the whole thing. But that doesn't mean that we just continue to go down this path with no clear goals, with a lot of corruption there, with Americans hurting, with Democrats, even though this guy says that's the border that counts, they will do nothing to protect our border, and they laugh at you in the same time, and they're laughing at Mike Johnson as they're patting him on the back. He's a hero. Yes, because he got nothing. Some vague comments of Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was just needed a bib on. He was so ecstatic. Attacking the senator from Vance from Ohio. I'd love to see those two in the debate. I think I'd bet on Vance versus Lindsey Graham. So are you today changed? Are you just shaken? Here is, this is cut 8. Here's the Democrats once the vote went through. Ukraine, not the American border, though, as they waved their Ukrainian flags. I mean, how many bills do we need to stop these Democrats in Harrisburg? And he's still out there. Kevin Boyle on the run. This guy is setting records. Are the police actually looking for Kevin Boyle? Can't they put a few undercover and a few bars? You mean that guy's not in a bar?
We need an ongoing Kevin Boyle report.
Yeah, who has seen Kevin Boyle?
Where in the world is Kevin
I bet
Boyle?
Our police resources know, but they're not allowed to go and get him because the Democrats still want him voting by whatever that process is. All right. Now, in all this, was this on Saturday morning or Sunday? I think it was Sunday. President Trump tweeted out, and I wouldn't have seen it on True Social, but Stephen Miller, one of his chief guys, did. Here's what President Trump tweeted out early morning. Absentee voting, early voting, and election day voting are all good options. Republicans must make a plan, register, and vote. All right, now, he couldn't still, Dan, quite get it said. He said absentee voting. He didn't say, all right, mail-in voting.
Embrace it.
You know what? Our side question today is going to be, and a lot of people make mistakes with this classic. I think we got this is the birthday of Jack Nicholson today. I think he's, 87, Jack Nicholson. I think they make the mistake. I know you can't handle the truth is the all-time great line that he uttered. Probably, I think that's one of the best confrontations we've ever seen. I still think the better line is when he says, I'm not going to put the swear word in about, that
Self-censored up.
That he ordered the code red. I think that's a better line, Dan, than when he says you can't handle the truth. How about you? Or do you like you can't handle the truth
you
better?
can't handle is arguably, it's up there as the line of all time. I mean, when you look at the list.
Number 29.
Really? 29? I think it'd be higher than that.
I think it ought to be 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But I like better, though, when he says that he did order the code red. That's because it captures Nicholson's character. I don't think he was even acting and he wanted to get it, Cruz, probably at that point. He couldn't take it.
You can't handle the truth.
Now, that's the line because it's the philosophy behind it and all. I get it. But when he says he ordered the code red, the build up to that is just, that does it for me as much. All right. So 855-839-1210. So I put that up on Twitter, Dan, and it won by about 75, 76%. Still 24% of people object to voting by mail, even though I take that as a signal from a direct signal from President Trump. Do you?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, if it's 75% are objecting to voting by mail, are they objecting to it? Do you use it for themselves?
They're okay with it.
Okay, gotcha.
25% are objecting to voting by mail.
Yeah, no, I don't get that then. And the thing is, like, even if you don't want to do it yourself, I feel like it's important to at least embrace the concept of mail-in balloting because there's no way that you're going to win in this election without it. The Democrats have already set the rules, Dom. Why are we not going to play by their rules that they have already set while also fighting to change those rules?
Exactly. So, you're zoning in on the set. Yeah, I thought it would be close to 90.
Yeah,
maybe some people are saying they don't want to be told by Trump what to do. I wasn't saying he told you what to do. I was just saying last week it was Doug Mastriano, Scott Perry on this show, and now President Trump, Dan, all saying what? Vote by mail or early voting or all these other things. Now, he's still, when he comes to Wildwood, that's the first thing I'd want. I'm in the crowd. Suppose the crowd starts booing. Is he afraid they might boo him at a rally when he says, look, I want to win. I've always been about winning. I want you to do one thing, vote by mail. All right, I have to report this first, Dan. David Pecker is taking the stand in the Trump New York trial. Yes. How many times are we going to hear David Pecker in this trial? Andy McCarthy will be here at 1:30 to break it down today. I looked at the opening statements, and I think that the tabloid nature of this is going to help Trump say we've already litigated this. Do people really believe the election would have been different if we had known about Stormy Daniels? Because he already had the grab him thing with Billy Budd over there at the bus. Matthew Dowd today is out there saying, yes, this was election interference. He's a former Trump guy who's really gone soft, saying, yeah, he would have lost if we had known about Stormy Daniels. Nobody knows that. I don't believe. I mean, I think people may.
They're saying that Trump would have lost the election if we known about Stormy Daniels?
Yes, exactly.
I don't think so.
No, we already knew. That's the one thing that kind of shook him. If you may remember, he did sort of an apology on Facebook about what he said, about grabbing women. He did. That's the one time where he thought it might be over. And what happened? Moved past it very quickly. People made their peace with this. They say, look, I know what this guy was about. evangelicals and others. We've been through this 100 times. That's what this trial is trying to say. Now, Andy McCarthy says something else. He says Alvin Bragg and the case he's making, he is the real election denier. He's denying the results of the election. He's saying it's like not all the votes were counted here because people didn't know about Stormy Daniels. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board.
Can I take you back to mail-in ballots for 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think people are mishearing Trump and Van Drew and Perry when they call for mail-in balloting? That do they think that they're saying vote mail-in instead of in person? So that's why they're fighting against the concept, because they themselves think it's important to vote in person?
Yeah, I'll throw that theory out there. Why is it that people would still be resistant to doing it?
I don't think anyone's saying that. I think they're just saying embrace the concept of mail-in balloting to further get more votes, not to do it yourself instead of voting in person if you like voting in person.
I think some of them, Dan, just can't accept the fact of what we're telling them, which is you are not going to win the election unless we do, and we've gone through the percentage points with Guy Shiraki and others, unless we move forward on mail-in balloting to a much better level. And we'll know tomorrow, say the primary, there seems to be some improvement. You're going to lose. So is it you're saying, well, I don't care. I want to lose that. And the whole theory is this. The more people that have banked that, then we go after people that are more reluctant voters. That's what Democrats are doing. It's a pretty simple concept.
I'll offer the devil's advocate argument.
Yeah.
That the entire reason that, mail-in balloting can't be embraced by the Republicans is because it's a much easier avenue to cheat through. So you're essentially just enabling Democrats to cheat.
I don't see where to that question. We're starting our series on election integrity at 2:30 today. We have Dawn Kiefer, the head of the Pennsylvania Freedom Caucus. They got all kinds of lawsuits out of there. One of them on Biden bucks. Biden using the federal government to get involved in the voting process, like Zuckerbucks did. So I'm acutely aware it's a two-pronged sort of thing. It's election integrity, but you can't throw your hands up and say, well, I don't care. I just want to do it the way that I do it. If we lose, we lose. It's just silly talk. It's about one thing, winning. That's all that matters here. Winning. Because if you don't win, you know what the consequence is going to be. All right, so 855-839-1210. Any defenders of Mike Johnson here? Churchill, he's being called. Democrats now, we need to have a bill so they can't be waving foreign flags and doing all that stuff. The Connolly guy, that's our border. I just think about it. There were three things they could have gotten out of Democrats. Cut some things to pay for this. No, not going to do that. The border, not going to do that.
The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border.
Rupper and son Michael Breslow says so too. All right. Or they could have freed up energy. They're not going to do any of them. That hurts Putin more than anything. So 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Our eye is on Columbia University, Yale. All these people, Dan, are standing at these universities, cops, police chiefs, the mayor of New York, and others saying, and we're not going to let this stuff happen. And guess what? It's happening. The other side is saying, what are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to arrest us and keep us in jail? Are you prepared to charge us with various crimes that they're committing? And they keep on saying, we're not going to let this happen. It is happening. Those universities are showing you the mob, seething mob of anti-Semites, anti-Americans, and just getting away with it. They're winning on this. They're going to continue to do it. All right, side question. As I said, today is the anniversary of the birth of the great actor, arguably in at least 3 or 4 roles. Is he better than Denzel? Oh, man, that's a tough one. He's right up there. I think of the last 50 years, Nicholson's 1, 2, or 3. What is the all-time confrontation? That's what we're looking for. You have Nicholson and you have Tom Cruise, that confrontation in A Few Good Men. Mine is, Dan, a weird one.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
In Goodfellas, Joe Pesci's character, everyone has to try to appease him because he just shoots people right there. He beats people to death right there in front of people, right? Tommy, he goes after Henry, his friend.
I think Joe Pesci might be with us. Joe, you there? Oh, no,
No, no, Joe Pesci.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, there
Yeah.
he is.
Talking about it. You know what? You know the problem is, though, Sonny, you're a real mutt there. But I'm funny how?
That's it.
I'm clown. I'm here to amuse you.
Funny how.
Just the way you tell the story, Tommy. It's funny. It's what?
I'm
You
funny
said
how?
it.
I mean,
You
funny
said it.
like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
Tell me, what's so funny about me, huh?
That's the confrontation, Dan, because they're believing him. They think this guy is ready to, does take out the gun. Yeah. How many times is he waving a gun in here, shooting a gun all around? Whatever he tried to do to walk on eggshells to appease this guy, he can't do it.
Just the way you tell the story, Tommy. It's funny. I didn't mean to. You know, Anthony, he's a big boy. He knows what he said. I'm funny how? I'm
That's
a
right.
clown. I make you laugh.
He's got that one memorized too. All right. So Dan, I think that's a heck of a confrontation because it turns out to be a joke, but you really don't know it at that point. That's how good it is. So
All right.
Go ahead. What's yours?
Yeah, so Dom, thinking about the NBA playoffs and
Right.
a horrible turnout by Tobias, and I don't know what to expect tonight. But there was a really hefty series back in 2003 between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. That was a very back and forth, aggressive playoff series. And then the next season, the first game that they meet, Dom, it's 10 games into the season. November 19th, 2004, the Malice at the Palace. A beer's thrown on, what is Artest? Is that
World Be Peace, right?
Yes, and then going into the stands, throwing punches, and arguably one of the most shocking fights in all of history in sports.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to be a fight, but some kind of confrontation, either fictional or real, that you think is an all-time confrontation when all these forces finally came to a head. Denzel and Gene Hackman in Crimson Tide, Dan. That's a pretty good confrontation where they're ready to launch nuclear missiles, you know?
Can I take another real one off the board?
Yeah.
Dr. Death and John Stossel.
Yeah. John Stossel.
Don't ever call wrestling fake to a real wrestler.
Yeah, that wrestling might not be as fake as you would think. I don't think I would have done that. John Stossel's a really cool guy.
Yeah, you've had him on a bunch, right?
Oh, yeah, over the years. But you know what? He's a little bit on the something about
and the thing is, though, I mean, Dr. Schultz, Dr. David, he went way. Dr. Death punched the guy in the ear, made him go deaf. He lost hearing. Like that's way over the line, dude. I'm completely on John Stossel's side as a huge wrestling fan myself. No, you can't be doing that.
Right. But, Stossel just doesn't recognize stuff like that. So, all right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Where are you on Mike Johnson and this True Social post from President Trump? He said absentee, and that includes mail-in, is the way to go. Just vote. We have to win. Are we getting there? Are we getting there? Are we getting closer to that? To adopt this strategy? Just imagine if we do and we come relatively close to the Democrats in this. They know what that means. That means they lose. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on Talk Radio 1210.
I noticed my new aesthetic.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. Confrontations coming off A Few Good Men. Today, Jack Nicholson's birthday.
I got a good one for you. How about when Kanye West hopped on stage and took away Taylor Swift's award, saying that Beyonce, she's the album
I
of the
saw
year.
a
Come on.
piece today saying, do you feel sorry for any of these men? That's all she does is recycle this. One guy's from 10 years ago, apparently, an actor or something in this latest batch.
Yeah.
She goes after him 50 different times.
Why? Aren't you one of the biggest relationships in pop culture right now? Why does your ex even matter?
Yes, because she's got nothing else. That's
Yes.
all that it is at the end of the day. Talent of a sort. And then going after guys that she's been involved with. That's it.
All weekend, every top 40 station. It seemed like every channel was advertising Taylor Swift's new album out. Oh, yeah. Great new album. It's kind of boring, to be quite honest.
That's, maybe she's running out of the spot where, but these people don't want, they want this. They want to blame men. That's my summation of it. A catchy phrase here and there, blame enough men. That's always good. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you can get on board. So you got two big things here. You got what went down over the weekend. TikTok is thrown in there. They could vote in the Senate early this week. But you also have all this giveaway to everything the Democrats wanted. How else would you view this? And then you have President Trump starting to maneuver toward mail-in balloting, absentee, early voting, all the things that were just criticized. We get the criticisms. We've been through this. How long does it take to pivot here, though, to a winning strategy? It's proven time after time after time. By the way, our eye is on, and it's making national news, even though the Philadelphia Inquirer doesn't have any interest. The Pembroke Middle School. And what some would say, I think our guest even wrote this, Joan Cullen, coming up at 12:30, was an attempted murder, getting hit with one of those Stanley Cups, just attacked over the head. Are they covering it up because that's what schools do, or is it the transgender part of it? It's not going to go away easily. They're not getting away with whatever happened here. New York Post says that the student who allegedly attacked there, whether it's male or female, was only in the school 2 days, coming from another school. What happened in the other school? My God. So Joan Cullen is our buddy and former school board member extraordinaire. She was involved in a lot of stuff in Penridge. That's how she came to our attention. She'll be here at 12:30 because she wrote a piece up on what happened in this Pembroke that we want to get to. All right, let me go to Chris in Malvern on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I tested the vote by mail waters for this Tuesday's election.
Okay, and what happened? Anything you know?
Well, it went pretty good. I took it up to Westchester, and they got people watching the box.
Good.
And the only thing that was irritating about it was the confirmation email with the line, if you have any further questions about casting your ballot, blah, 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 blah. And down below that, it's in Spanish and in Chinese.
Well,
that was very irritating to see that.
Of course. You're lucky it's only 2. You're in a spot, God knows, in Philadelphia how many languages they put it in. But, Chris, what do you make of President Trump finally, true socialing that out on Saturday or Sunday?
Well, I'm into it now. I've been listening to you and others talk that this is the way to go, and now I've done it. And, oh, by the way, I did vote for Trump, too, not Nikki Haley.
Yeah, that's good news.
Surprise.
All right. What's your confrontation?
For my favorite movie in Rocky, when Mickey goes to Rocky's efficiency and asks him to be the coach.
Ah, that's right. A manager. I didn't have a manager.
Right.
Yeah, but he has to go down the street to get him. That is a great, great one. All right, put that one. Confrontation's going to work here. Nate in Philly. Nate, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing, Dom?
Good, Nate.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that the mail-in balloting thing in Philadelphia. Whether you embrace it or not, this is going to be a no-win state for the mail-in balloting things. They flood the system with so many mail-in ballots, and then they harvest them back themselves and then fill them out themselves. That there's no way that Republicans can beat them in the state. I watched it being done.
Well,
So it's
I wish you had reported that. So, Nate, should we just give up then?
I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying that whether we embrace it or not, the numbers is not going to be there for us. Now, whether they can catch them doing the cheating is one thing, but I know in this state it is going to be hard. That harvesting thing is serious, and I seen it happening. I seen somebody come in with thousands of votes. I'm not saying that he filled them out himself. I don't know, but I seen them dropping them off at the mail station, and they pay these people to do it, and there's no way we can overcome it.
I thank you, Nate. Well, we have to overcome this. That's part two. That's the defensive part, not just the offensive part. We're trying to get on the Republican lawyer out in Chester County. She has a lawsuit trying to block mail-in ballot. And here's the area. Let's pinpoint rather than just talking around in circles. I think Republicans have to concentrate on these long-term nursing homes and things of that nature. Meaning, I don't think someone should be able to show up with 400 or 500 votes, whatever it is, and that's what they're trying to do in Chester County from a nursing home, long-term care facility. Call it what you want. Potentially, they want to invalidate those ballots days before the state's primary election because it doesn't appear that that's the law, that you can just show up and do that. If we're going to take those votes, then I think there has to be transparency. There has to be somebody there seeing how this goes down. Oh, Dom, you got to be kidding me. You want to see each individual? Yes. We had that case over in Montgomery County. We talked to Liz Priate-Havey about that one of the last times with this woman with 400 votes sashaying in, and they think it's legal. Well, maybe it's not legal. That's what they're doing in Chester County. So here's the point. It's not just about mail-in balloting. It's about all hands on deck, fighting for every single vote, fighting over every single vote, forcing them to follow the law, the letter of the law. I don't care if they think the law is stupid, whatever, the letter of the law. Oh, that's just technical. That's what it is. Whatever the law says, that's what we have to force them to follow. Now, if we can't do that and mail-in balloting, then you're going to lose. No one wants that. No one said this is easy. They are primed to do whatever it takes. All right, we're going to talk with Joan Cullen next, former school board president, vice president out there in Pembridge. Someone who used to call the show. That's how we got to know her. And she wrote a piece she sent to me and Dan about this situation in Pembroke, but more broadly about transgender, gender affirming, and all the rest of it. So what in the world is happening there in North Penn? What appears to be happening, well, more than appears, we know the savage attack that happened. And we have kids saying they warned the guidance counselors and others about this. Is at the heart of it something to do with transitioning? And if so, what? And if so, is there a cover-up involved because of that? All right, Joan Cullen's next, 855-839-1210. All right, Dom Giordano show. We've only a couple days into this vicious attack over in the North Penn School District. And I think the girl who we played you from the, let's play a little bit of that, Dan, from the school board meeting.
You want the
Yeah, or is it the dad?
So I have both the 6 ABC report, which has the young girl, which is a very, very
Right.
heart-wrenching retelling of the events. And then I also have the dad who's talking about why there's no media coverage of the student potentially being trans.
Okay, let's hear the dad.
You want to hear the dad?
Yeah.
Let me get that queued up, and here you go, sir.
This was a teenage boy who beat on a little girl. All right? Call it what it is. I don't care. Don't look at me like that, Mr. Fusco. You're a father. What if that was your daughter? What if that was your daughter? And I'm sorry, I didn't want to be here. I'm here because people reach out to me. I'm here because apparently too many people are afraid to just say that. Men and women are different. All right? Whatever you want to do as an adult, God bless you. That's fine. You have that right. But let kids be kids. Let them make that decision later in life when it's appropriate. All right? Men and women are not the same. Our hormones are not the same. Our strength is not the same. Our aggression is not the same.
Okay, that gives us a sense of the dad. The little girl talked about how they had told the guidance counselor, it seems like several kids, that something was going to happen. There was a hit list. Apparently, they had to stitch together the head of the child who was struck with this.
Honestly, it's only 30 seconds. Might be worth playing.
Okay, yeah, here's the little girl.
I don't get how you couldn't have stopped that. All of a sudden, I just hear all this screaming and everybody running. And all of a sudden, you just hear these terrible, like, loud bangs of the Stanley bouncing off her head. And we had to sit in there and watch them clean up her blood off those tables and ground. And we had to watch them take her out with blood dripping down her face. And I will never forget that.
All right, Joan Cohen, as I said, is somebody we go to on Matters Educational, often served for a great period of time over in the Penn Ridge School District, 2015 to 2023. She said, I tried to refrain from speaking publicly about issues in other school districts, particularly in neighboring ones, as a courtesy. Since I completed my service, I still tried to be a bit reserved. And then she wrote this letter to Dan and me, and she joins us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joan, welcome in. So before we broaden this out, because there's several incidents here, the 129-page manifesto, alleged to be fiction in Maryland, the other thing that happened in Nashville, but I'm sure this is happening every day, we know. What is your sense now, given your various roles that you have, is going over in North Penn, versed upon what the parents are saying and the actions there? What sense do you have? What's going on?
Well, there must be some truth to what the parents and certainly the child, when you listen to her speak, you know that she's just telling the truth. She's giving you an account of what happened, and it's horrifying. And I wanted to start out by saying this really isn't anything new, unfortunately. It's just ramped up in the last, several years, I would say. I was thinking before I came on that way back in 1995, I was a substitute teacher in Alexandria City Public Schools, and a fourth grader said to me one day, I'm going to punch you in the face. And I was taken aback. That's not how I was raised. It's not anything that would have been tolerated in the public schools that I went to. And when I asked an administrator about it, what would be done, the punishment, I was told, well, there's a room where we allow the children to go, where they can work out their frustrations, throw chairs, scream, yell, whatever they need to do. And at the time, I'm in my 20s, and even then I thought, gee, that doesn't seem right. I wasn't even a parent yet, but that didn't seem like that was going to solve the problem. And certainly 30 years later, we see now that it's just happening more and more because it's become entrenched in the public school system, this way of trying to coddle, trying to walk on eggshells around discipline problems. And we're seeing the results, and it's tragic. It really is. It's tragic for the victims, of course, first and foremost, but I also feel a certain bit of human compassion for the aggressors because they were failed as well. And we need to start talking about that, or it's not going to get better.
Well, this transgender thing, and again, now you were actually in this seat as a school board member, and we realized there are certain things legally you might not be able to say. But when we go down this path and they just, the superintendent and others, Joan, talk in vague things about the school district, just evading what is the central point here, yes or no on this about the driving force here. What's your sense? Was this student transgendered and maybe they were mocked or something? I mean, what is it that a school district should do? You can't just tell parents, well, it's under investigation, but then you never really answer what happened here.
Well, what they can't do publicly is talk about a student. You can't talk
Right.
about an employee, a student. Everybody knows that you can't do that. But what you can talk about publicly is your policies and your procedures. And, you know, all schools are going through that right now with bathroom policies and everything else surrounding this transgender issue. And a school district can assure parents that something like this won't occur again. You know, if we are, they can explain through their policy that they can talk about publicly how they would be able to protect students from something like this happening. There's discipline policies that they can talk about publicly. There's something, I assume every school has it, but we have what's called a discipline continuum, where it lists very explicitly the first offense for something like this is the punishment that will be implemented. And it goes on as you go along, like second offense, and it tells you what will happen to the student. So without being specific about a student, using a student's name or identity, you can say, well, in an instance like this is how we would address it. This is the punishment. The student would be put in alternative placement. The student would be expelled from school. You know, and that way you can talk about it. So if I were them, I would direct the parents to what their typical policy is, to give them an idea of how it would be handled without saying this is specifically, you know, what we're going to do to the student by name.
Okay.
And you can certainly do that.
Now, Joan, you write here too, when you were at Penn Ridge, summer of 2021, you were on the school board, you learned that a professional development training by CHOP around issues like gender affirmation and all this stuff was scheduled. It was a training some other school districts had already completed. You were able to watch a YouTube recording of the CHOP presentation in advance. It made me alarmed and angry. I immediately wrote to our team about this. Would you be okay with this if it were done to your child, the concerns you have? And it pains me. I've spoken glowingly about Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. My son, Luke, was in there when he was 18 months. And we had encephalitis. We had tremendous results from them. They are world class and all that. But the issue is they have lost their way, at least one segment there, I believe. And what you saw in that videotape, either money or ideology or both are coming together there. What did you see that made you so concerned?
Well, I want to echo what you said about CHOP first. One of my sons had a heart condition and he needed surgery, and he got life-saving surgery at CHOP, for which we will be forever grateful. So I want to get that out of the way, first of all. But like you said, they've lost their way. They've bought in, somebody has made them buy into this gender affirmation therapy, which, as I said in what I wrote, it literally, if a little child comes to you and says, you know, I'm a boy, but I really feel like I'm a girl on the inside, you're supposed to affirm them. That's what gender affirmation therapy is. It's this immediate acknowledgement of the child's feelings, and then you change things. You can refer to them by a different name. You let them dress in a different way. It goes on and on. And in the video, they had, even starting in kindergarten, they had, the woman's name, I believe, is Samantha King. And I haven't checked in a while, but the last that I checked, the video was still on YouTube, and I guess I can go and look and see if the link is still active for you. But anyway, she shows books that you would read to the students, and just really is suggestive in how you can push the kids along in this, and you kind of just give up going down any other path. And what has research shown forever about transgenderism? Senator Paul and I were chatting about it at the event at Bucks County Community College. He has said over and over again that nearly 90% of these gender confusion issues resolve themselves, meaning that the individual reverts back to their natal sex. Their gender will match their natal sex. That's what he says. That's what the research has done. And in fact, that research was just affirmed, if you will, by a study that was done in the Netherlands, the longest, most extensive study to date that shows the same thing, that by and large, these people will go back to their natal sex. And so it doesn't make any sense to take these children and to do the opposite. You would think you would want to work towards what we know naturally is probably going to happen. But what they do instead is they kind of reinforce confusion, I will say. You know, they have the kids thinking that maybe they are the different gender and going so far down that path. And that's where I think like this aggression is coming through. And I don't know how much you read of stories like Chloe Cole, people like that who have detransitioned. It's heartbreaking. And what they say is they feel so frustrated and angry and sad and trapped because they
it's
can't
irreversible.
go back to what they were.
Right, exactly. Well, Joan, that tells me that could be happening here. I don't know if it is or not, but, you know, the longer there's not more of an attempt to be transparent, following the laws here, and I realize it could be difficult, this story's out there nationally, and it's not going to go away. Joan, thank you, as always, and please let us know if there's any update.
Thank you. I really appreciate being able to talk about it very much. Thank you,
Joan. Joan Cullen, our go-to on these matters. All right, more calls coming up. In studio today, Robin Schaefer. I'm looking at President Trump in New York on trial, but Robin has been talking about he's our go-to guy, protect the whales, protect sea life, but to protect the Jersey Shore, about President Trump and recent developments around wind and what he's been saying. But I'm coming to you. Hit us with that all-time confrontation. We'll get a few more on board today. Jack Nicholson's birthday, 855-839-1210. I'll say this, that scene is so good. I don't even dislike Tom Cruise. He plays a perfect goater there. I'm not rooting for Tom Cruise. I can't root for Jessup. I mean, he's bad when he has a guy killed, but I can't root for Tom Cruise.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Oh, yeah, that's good. But I did order the code red. Oh, when he says it, even our buddy, you know, what would Larry Krasner, he should consult Kevin Bacon in that scene when he doesn't know what to do. What would Krasner
My
do?
name is Jack Stolzheimer, not Larry Krasner.
No, that's another story. He would probably tell Kevin Bacon, let him go. Nothing happened here. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's talk about Martin for a moment. To ensure the drinking water in your home is clean and pure, do what I did and trust Martin Water Conditioning for about 50 years. The Martin family has put their passion for clean water to work for their customers. They are the water experts, and my Connecticut system from Martin guarantees that only crystal clear, all-natural water flows from my tap. It tastes great, provides peace of mind knowing it's clean and fresh. And right now, their customer appreciation sale, receive up to $500 off when purchasing a Connecticut water system, 18 and 48 months special financing, or 10% off their spot-free car rinse system and more. Their knowledge and expertise is unmatched. Do what I did. And what you really love about Martin, you'll see, is their integrity and dedication to incredible customer service. So visit martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. The offer expires April 22nd. Offers cannot be combined or applied to prior sales. 800-887-7555.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Independent citizen journalism, whether it's Charlie Alexander, Meg Brock, Mark Fusetti, a lot of people doing great work because the quote-unquote typical sources just don't do what they do anymore.
Why can't we pass an ordinance saying that we will not accept illegal immigrants by any means, by any organization here in Delaware County?
Well, you definitely stepped into the hornet's nest. I'll be with you. I'll bring some hornet spray for you. We'll kill off these hornets, so to speak. Thank you so much, Charlie. We appreciate it, man.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra on a tribute to Philly sports fans at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood and at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Alan Iverson, Cole Hamels, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a gift to us to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. Come see it. It's amazing.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic on June 29th and the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
GoConklin.com.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
Your 401k goes up and down. That's fine when you're 40, but not when you're 60. Find out how to protect your hard-earned money. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For the pulse of the city, even if it ain't pretty.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Dom Giordano Show. Welcome in. Dan, I love this next one. It's a twofer on both. Let me go to Don and Franconia, then I'll take a couple more that have been hanging in. All right, Don, welcome in. So you have a friend that teaches in North Penn School District, huh?
Yes, I have a young lady. She's 25 years old or maybe a little younger that teaches special education in an elementary school, not the same school that you're talking about.
Okay, all right. No more
was a junior
details,
high
Don.
school.
But no more details. We don't want to narrow it down too much. So what's your thought?
Okay. So my thought is she had a 5-year-old special education student who punched her in the chest, and she showed that wound to both my wife and myself. And believe me, the circumference of that, which was all red, had to be 7 or 8 inches. And 2 weeks after that, she has another special ed student that's 8 years old and rather large for his age, came up and punched her in the corridor, hit her in the head. She fell on the floor and ended up with a concussion. And that same 8-year-old student, 2 weeks before that, when his mother and the 8-year-old were being dropped off, he was being dropped off.
Don, I got that. So your point is you think there are problems here, and maybe the special ed designation shelters it, huh?
I definitely think the special education, but let's face it, where are they going to put these kids? They close up any alternative schools.
I hear you. Don, give me your confrontation. I think it's a really good one.
My confrontation goes back to a movie made quite a few years ago called A Bronx Tale, where Chaz Palminteri was like a bartender in this scene, and they had a bunch of bikers in there who had ripped up the place, and they came back a second time, and he asked them in a nice way to leave, and they didn't. So he walked over calmly to the door, locked the door, and said to them, "Now you can't leave." And then a bunch of
yeah, exactly. You got it. You got it. He's a mob figure. Now you just can't leave. He wasn't behind the bar. He's the guy running the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure he was not a bartender.
And they were Hell's Angels. Dan, that's in my top 5 scenes of all time. You talk about used too. Yeah, exactly. Let's squeeze Nick in quickly here. Nick, what's your confrontation?
Hey guys, good afternoon. Great show. Hey, the movie The Princess Bride. So that would be with Carrie Elwes. We got Inigo Montoya. He goes up to the six-fingered man. He says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." That's a classic. I love that one.
Very good.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
All right. I'm glad we got confrontations going here. Our buddy Robin Schaefer is confronting all kinds of powers that be. And
Nice tie-in.
yeah, it's President Trump is on his side. What he said recently about wind. President, not a big fan of that. Protecting our shores, the whales. That's all next here in studio today on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies, and we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Hey, it's Nick, and what I love about working with our friends from the Piazza Auto Group is getting to test drive so many amazing vehicles. Recently had the chance to check out the 2024 Honda Pilot Trail Sport, which features a 7-mode drive system, Trail Watch multi-view camera, 18-inch alloy wheels, and wireless Apple CarPlay. Well, you too can explore the new Honda Pilot at any of the 5 Piazza Honda locations in Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, Springfield, and Langhorne, or shop all of their inventory at piazzaautogroup.com.
I'm Bill, and I'm living with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a type of interstitial lung disease that causes scarring of the lungs and makes it hard to breathe. ILD can be hard to diagnose. So if you're out of breath with a constant dry cough, ask a pulmonologist if it could be ILD. My wife, Bev, and I have walked every step of this journey together. I couldn't have traveled this road alone, and neither should you. Get help. Find hope. Go to lungsandyou.com.
Are you a caregiver that lives in Delaware County? The Delaware County Link to Aging and Disability Resources presents the 2024 Caregiver Academy Series. Join us for a series of meaningful, activity-focused information sessions on respite care for your loved ones. Presentations take place on April 9th, April 23rd, May 7th, May 21st, June 4th, and June 18th at the Good Neighbor Senior Center in Sharon Hill, PA, from 4 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Call 484-540-0372 to register today.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. This spring, Fairmount Park Conservancy invites you to connect with your Philadelphia neighborhood parks. Join your local park friends group during Love Your Park Week in May, or join us for weekly volunteer events all year long throughout the city. Fairmount Park Conservancy works with the City of Philadelphia and its communities to bring parks to life. For information and to sign up, visit myphillypark.org. Hi,
everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216. 800-499-1216.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, welcome in. It is Dom time. Everybody loves a good confrontation. I know that I do. Jack Nicholson's birthday in studio with us, Robin Schaefer, who has been confronting the biggest powers in New Jersey, Denmark, and now New York, passing through Philadelphia today. So we have him in studio with us. You get in at 855-839-1210. So, Robin, it's good to have you here in the palatial worldwide headquarters of Talk Radio 1210. We will be headed back to the summer White House, Mulligan's, at least 3, and we were just talking about another one today. I know you told me you've already gotten your room. Why did you strike so quickly where the big Trump event will be on May 11th?
Well, first of all, Dom, thanks for having me back on the show, and I love your studios here. Plus, I got my pothole fix in by driving around to get here. I don't get that down in Ocean City too often, but we noticed that the rates for hotels were going through the roof, so I jumped on it.
Can you give us an idea from what to what ballpark with Trump coming that day?
Yeah, the rates have gone up over 200 over the weekend. I saw rates $600-$700 for the old motor inn near the venue site, which is going to be in between the two piers, the Moray piers down there on the beach. So I'm looking forward to having a much larger turnout. They were only able to accommodate 7,500 last time. This time they're predicting 40,000, according to sources in Wildwood.
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot bigger than that. There's so much excitement down there.
It is not January 28th when we originally did it, right before COVID. But Dan, $600 to $700 in May, not Memorial Day, May.
That's crazy
for the motor inn. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
As much as I love the wrestling tournament on the beach, I don't know if it's drawing that kind of crowd.
Yeah, well, that's a nice space. If you can fill that up, Robin, that's got to be 60 or 70 or 100. I think 100,000 could get in there.
People love them, and people love them down in our neck of the woods. It's hard to imagine part of New Jersey being flyover country, but back in 1980, I believe they had a referendum on splitting the state of New Jersey into two, having two states, and it almost passed back in 1980.
You support it, Robin?
After what I've seen the last few years, I support it 100%.
Absolutely. All right. Robin Schaefer, of course, has been our go-to guy at the Jersey Shore, and Kelsey Grammer. That was just one of the most fabulous talk radio events. Just Kelsey Grammer, the way he was eating those French fries like this, like an actor, constantly rubbing his hands with them. So On the policy front, the Washington Post, and you've been sending us stuff, said that Trump at this event with fossil fuel people, the evil fossil fuel people, went off on wind. And I think what offends Trump about wind, it's the same thing with low flow showers and all the rest of it. It's not on a big policy level. He's there for that too. It's the inconvenience of it, the preposterous nature of all this.
It defies common sense. I just read somewhere today that the amount spent on offshore wind in the world last year was $1.8 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
And that number just is going to continue to grow because the companies that are trying to install these ridiculous projects keep coming back for more money. They blame the supply chain and inflation. Look, we're all struggling with inflation. And that's one of the reasons I think the former president's coming down, and hopefully future presidents coming down to Wildwood, is to talk about the things that actually matter most to voters, like inflation. And he put it right out there in the Washington Post last week. He said that offshore wind isn't reliable, it's unsightly, and it's bad for the environment. And what does the Washington Post do? They stick the adverb falsely right in front of that and says Donald Trump falsely claimed that it's those things, which it is. I mean, it's arguably all three of those things. We're in the same article. I did a 30-minute interview with the writer of that article, and she was essentially tied us to Donald Trump, which is good, but she tied us to some fossil fuel interests and tried to make some connections based on a deeply flawed Brown University study that was done. And we've been arguing since Brown University's undergraduates put in the climate development lab, put this paper together, that they didn't do their research properly. They grossly misinterpreted our relationships with other groups. We don't have any of the relationships that they put out there, but the Washington Post and the Boston Globe saw fit, because it's an Ivy League institution, to put these stories right on their front pages this month.
Yeah. So, Robin, today is Earth Day, too. It's just apropos that you're here, because one of the biggest stories out of all these last few years are the, I'll say, alleged environmental groups who usually, you would think on something like this, the sound course of action, if not the hysterical, where they sometimes go, would be, you got to slow everything down. We got to see what's happening here. There's justifiable evidence. Can't go forward until we test and do some other things to see what's happening. Yet on this, they're in the front lines of signing off.
Yeah, they bought into the narrative that the Democratic Party, the Biden administration, a lot of the Northeastern governors have been pushing, is that climate change it's not just climate change anymore. It's a climate crisis. If we don't do something about it, we're all going to be underwater. We're not going to have any power anymore. We're going to have a global catastrophe, and it's deeply flawed thinking. First of all, climate change has been happening for millennia. We don't argue that. But how is it that the environmental groups that are pushing so hard for the industrial development of like offshore wind, totally ignore the environmental damage and degradation that could happen as a result of installing these facilities? How is it that the Audubon Society, which is supposed to be all about protecting birds, is supporting wind turbines that will have been proven to kill birds?
Well, and we love buried in all this minutia of all the stuff, and you, thank God, are the one that reads that and sends it to Dan and me. It says stuff like collateral damage, rule out to kill 1 million birds. Now go to it, have fun. Meanwhile, in Center City, Philadelphia, they're saying we have to paint buildings black or do it at night so birds don't crash into them. Okay.
No reflections.
I don't want birds to be crashing into them. But there, it's the old West. Do whatever you want.
Absolutely. And right there in the Washington Post article was a paragraph about cats kill more birds than wind turbines do. Well, look, we're not
Well, there's like 30 million cats around the world. I hope so. Yeah.
we're not suggesting that people go out and buy 50 cats and have them go out and kill birds.
Yeah.
It's the logic is so wrong.
Not that you want to turn away any cat ladies or anything. You know?
Yeah, it's
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So now you have news too that the New York, I guess it's Long Island, but for listeners, New York, they're giving up on their licenses, their projects now. And that's a good thing because, the vibe starts with these others, but you're afraid they may say, let's go to Jersey. They're more corrupt. They'll give us the money no matter what. And the Murphys are vengeful because they got knocked out of the Senate race. They really want to, this summer, seal the deal.
It's like a race right now because they recognize that the political winds are blowing in a different direction and people want change.
Yeah.
And it's not the change that they are advocating. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if the Murphys go out there and buy a drill and a boat and go out and start installing wind turbines themselves because they want this so badly. We are very pleased to see what's going on in New York. New York canceled 3 projects that were not viable financially. And we just learned that Delaware is considering a bill that would really cap the amount of money that they would give to offshore wind if they pursued it, which would make it would not be viable in Delaware if they go forward with this because the amounts of money they're talking about paying the offshore wind companies wouldn't be enough for them to stay in the game. New Jersey's talking about giving 130 dollars per megawatt versus Delaware's talking like 60. So it's New Jersey's willing to throw money at it and keep throwing money at this big boondoggle because it's basically the biggest feather in the Murphy's cap. And I have to say, it's so cool to see the President Trump coming down to Wildwood because I think this is probably the hallmark or largest issue that people along the Jersey Shore are paying attention to. In addition to, we obviously are seeing issues with inflation, big time inflation, and the migrant crisis hits everybody these days. I was just riding on the Atlantic City Boardwalk a couple of days ago and noticed all the spots that have been burned out in the boardwalk because migrants and homeless people are camping under the boardwalk and setting fires to stay warm, and they're actually burning holes in the boardwalk.
Do they know they're under wood?
God. Yeah,
It's
well,
very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do hope President Trump has a sense of that because I link all these things to the same kinds of overkill that have been fought. And now people recognize, too, what you and I have talked about, and it's fine to finally say it. We don't want the Jersey Shore wrecked for us, our kids, grandkids, and coming up to have the same experience that you and I have had all these years. And these people, for their own vainglory of saying they're climate czars, Murphy nationally, the wife, I'm not sure why, now, want to continue to do that. That's at risk also. And it's fine to say that. It's not just the whales, not just the money. Why in the world would we take something that, on a human term, nothing's perfect, but if something is perfect, it's the Jersey Shore. It definitely is. You can't, around the world, you can't top that.
Recently, I saw a map of the U.S. that was published that showed what the number one attraction in each state was. And in New Jersey, it was the Jersey Shore, Jersey's beaches. So why would you mess with something that is, as you say, perfect? People come down there. They have treasured memories over generations. Why mess with that? And we believe that our work is not just to protect the Jersey Shore as people have come to know it over generations, but it's also to stand in for those environmental organizations that are not doing their job
Right.
and protect the coastal and marine habitat. Just the other day, I was standing at a safe distance from a baby seal that would come ashore in near my house in Ocean City, and beautiful, beautiful animal. And I think that the fact that these marine mammals are out there and are not, right now they're not as threatened as they will be if you put hundreds of steel towers and concrete in their environment. So
Right.
we have a duty, I believe, to protect the shore and protect our coast.
Absolutely. And the website, Robin, tell people where they should go and what they can do there.
People can go who have an interest in supporting our efforts, or want to join the struggle. They can go to and visit us at protectourcoastnj.com. They can also find us on Twitter if we can still call it Twitter, at NJ_Coast_protect. We're also on Facebook as well.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks for stopping in today. And hopefully we're working on it. We will see you down there with President Trump.
Thanks so much for having me. And I also would be remiss if I just wanted to mention that I believe I speak for everybody in our organization. We are praying for the young people who were involved in a really horrific accident in Ocean City over the weekend. There's a young child was struck in an accident, and she's at Cooper. So we're praying for her and for the other children that were involved. And I just want to thank you for letting me to mention
I'm
that
glad
as
you
well.
did. Robin Schaefer with us. You'll hear more of them over the summer with us on many occasions. Come to your calls next on Talk Radio 1210.
Love me like a mother. Will you be there?
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Dawn Stensland here. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Just call my friends at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Now, this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, move again, pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. It's an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who've reclaimed their mobility. Take action now. Do this. Live your best life this spring and summer. Great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000. Tell Dawn sent you.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Don't miss my exclusive interview with President Donald Trump today at 5 p.m. after his first day in court, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Don't miss it.
All right, you heard that for the Wildwood event. My God, rooms going up to $600 or $700, and President Trump's got to talk about wind, among other things. And I'll be with Rich today at 5 o'clock. I think the trial is over early today, part 1. Andy McCarthy will be here on the Dom Show at 1:30 to break down what we saw today. And he says the way to position this is Alvin Bragg is the one that is an election denier. You know, if people have known this, the argument is they would have not voted President Trump in. They would have voted for Hillary Clinton. Oh, my goodness. Try proving that. Let's go to Dwayne in Valley Forge. And Dwayne, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Dwayne.
Good morning, Dom. Good afternoon. I'm just checking in. I report for 6:30 a.m. tomorrow to my Chester County poll. To poll watch, I'm trying to put some walk in my talk. And when I asked our Republican supervisor, isn't this kind of a waste of time with this primary? And she said, no, we need to make our presence felt.
Yeah, and Dwayne, to that point, I'm glad to hear it because I believe they are. I'm looking at the lawyer for Chester County Republicans. They're going after, they want to know up or down. If you have a long-term care facility, something like that, can you just have one person suddenly show up with 400 or 500 votes?
Yeah, that is a Chester County issue right now. The mail-in ballots, I hear what you're saying, but I'm reminded, remember during the Romney-Obama election, how there were 58 precincts that didn't report a single vote for Romney.
Yes.
And your friend Ed Tarzansky said that was a statistical impossibility. So there's the custody of those ballots that is a concern.
Well, true. And the Trump people have, at least on paper, 100,000 people just in the swing states, Dwayne, that are going to be doing this. So it's not just mail-in ballot. It is also the election integrity part of this. And that's the magic phrase. And every one of them that I bring on, I talk about chain of custody issues and how that's going to be handled. We have really good people that are experts that are on this. But Dwayne, I'm telling you with certainty, without a vibrant mail-in ballot campaign and the other things, early voting, et cetera, we're going to lose in Pennsylvania. That's what will happen.
It's the bitter truth. I hear you.
And what's your confrontation? It's a pretty good one. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, well, the most ancient of all conflicts was we watched in a film between Father Demetrius and Lucifer. Demi, please, why you do this to me, Demi?
Absolutely.
You're not my mother.
Also, the end. Come into me. When he's fighting with the devil, Dan. You can't do better than that. Thank you, Dwayne. Dan, that one, I could go and watch it right now and they didn't have the technology they have today, the weird stuff they had to do with his face to show the devil was coming into him. And yet he was marching toward Reagan and he had to throw himself out the window. Oh,
I don't know if you'll get a better answer than the devil, too, as someone to have a confrontation with, right?
I gotta say, though, in a quirky way, you know what appeals to me? It's the South Philly thing. Donna Franconia with "Now You Can't Leave," locking the door. Oh, Hell's Angels, and the way they have the narrator, the kid, go, all their power, all their might, suddenly was drained from them. Hey, by the way, I'm a big fan, Dan, of Tyrese Maxey, but I just saw a report. Illness. He might not be able to play tonight. Wait a minute. Don't go around saying that. In a playoff game like this, unless the league won't let you play for some reason, illness, is there any illness that should keep you out?
I don't know. I think you do report it. Like, even if you have a slight sniffle, I think you report you're sick to give the impression to the other team, maybe this guy's not playing. We might have to add a second game plan into, the repertoire
you think
in case he doesn't play.
Okay. If that's the strategy,
here,
but if it's like legit, I might not be able to play tonight.
Whoa, but what's that kind of mentality? There can't be a mentality in the Nick Nurse locker room. That was okay in Doc Rivers, I feel like, but Nick Nurse isn't going to allow someone to not show up for a playoff game because they're sniffling. Come on.
Right. Exactly right. He's going to go Jack Nicholson.
I have a headache. Well, screw you. It's the playoffs. Get in there.
855-839-1210. So David Pecker gave his opening statement today, concluding in the trial today. And Andy McCarthy will be here to break all this down. This is the most preposterous case of all. And I think it's going to be undercut by the fact it'll be embarrassing for Trump. It is tabloid. They'll go back and forth. But we all know when you're going after somebody, often you have to put on the stand somebody who's not reputable. You know what I mean? And that's Michael Cohen. But Michael Cohen has lied to so many different groups. He's now saying he wants to say that he lied in the initial remarks he made in the tax case, et cetera, when he was saying he did it, that he didn't do it now. There's no credibility here. And in the end, if Michael Cohen is the best they have, I think Trump is not going to be convicted here. All right. Andy McCarthy is going to be jumping in, give us all those impressions. I love the confrontation thing. That just came in the 11th hour today. Jack Nicholson's birthday hit us with that all-time confrontation. Hey, the road to the NBA Finals starts now, and new customers on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino can go on their own playoff run with $150. Just place any $5 bet, and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. Tonight, I don't know, is FanDuel still giving pretty good odds? Dan, I was right the other day that Embiid only had 29 points. I was sweating out that last point. They said 30.5. I'd say take the under on Embiid tonight and 30 points, if that's what it is. First basket score.
Over under 205.5 for the entire game.
205.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's a killer. I would say I'll take the over. I think they're going to be a little bit tired, and that means
really going the over this time.
Yeah, because I think the defense is going to break down. They shot horribly, several Knicks players the other night. I'll take the over.
And 30.5 points for Joel.
I'll take the under again.
Gotcha.
He has no lift. That guy can block his shot, and he knows it. So over, under, right there. Hey, go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Right now might be the best time ever to upgrade your old, inefficient water heater to a state-of-the-art Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater. It's eco-friendly, Energy Star certified for high efficiency, and will help lower your energy bills. Rebates and tax credits are now available that could save you thousands of dollars. How you heat your water matters. So ask your plumbing professional about the Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater, or visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Oh, yeah. All you griddle gurus best get your game faces on, because it's grilling season at Gerhardt's. And that means all systems go for great deals on the latest grills that'll sizzle your grizzle off. Whether you're a tong man or spatula lady, Gerhardt's Appliances has all the propane-powered patio powerhouses to turn that frozen filet mignon into a fire-grilled filet mignon.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code EARN.
Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony, Retreat, Spa, and Salon.
A nice stretch of weather returns to the Delaware Valley. Plenty of sunshine today, milder with a high 63. A chilly night tonight, mostly clear, low 45 for the city, 30s in the suburbs with some frost. And for Tuesday, the sunshine continues, warmer with a high 68.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon, the secret to spoiling the moms in your life this spring. Now with 3 locations, Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City at the Lowe's Hotel. Visit in person or online at josephanthony.com, where gift cards are available. That's josephanthony.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Giordano Show, the very best each day, and that means Andy McCarthy here on, by the way, Dan, check that out. Is Madeline Dean in that picture going off to Ukraine? I think it's her. Let me know here on Fox. Yes, let's go to Andy McCarthy, the best column, Andy McCarthy's National Review about Alvin Bragg, election denier. Andy, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us. What's the biggest takeaway from the start today?
Well, I think, that we're seeing what some of us predicted going in, which is that the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, is trying to convince the jury that what Trump is charged with is basically a massive criminal conspiracy to steal the 2016 election. And they may be quite surprised by the time they get to the end of the case and they realize that actually all he's charged with is business records falsification charges, which I think it's an uphill battle, or at least it ought to be, to get him convicted even on those. But the way this has been done is really untoward in a constitutional sense, because the Fifth Amendment requires that defendants be told exactly what they're being charged with in a grand jury indictment. Here, the grand jury indicts Trump for these business records crimes. At the same time that they indict, Bragg puts out this statement of facts, as he calls it, which is not the grand jury's document. It's his document. It's kind of been reported as if it was part of the indictment. It's not. And that statement basically spins the grand jury's indictment into a scheme to steal the 2016 election, which today in the opening statements became a conspiracy to steal the 2016 election. So it's really quite remarkable what they've done.
When you say a conspiracy to do that, Andy, doesn't it have to be more than just, look, this may not look so good with Stormy Daniels, even though Trump's laundry was out there already with the grab them and everything else. So to be a conspiracy to steal the election, what would you say you would need to have? Is that even possible, since people try to tamp down anything that's inconvenient constantly, right? I mean, that's part of electoral politics. What would it take to be a real conspiracy?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Dom. First of all, he's not charged with conspiracy because it's not a conspiracy. And what Bragg says he did was agree with a couple of other guys, Michael Cohen and David Pecker, to do exactly what you just described, tamp down on unsavory information. Here, basically the way Bragg puts it, to suppress information that would have been politically damaging. All political campaigns try to suppress information that might be politically damaging. It's not a crime. And the problem with speaking of it in terms, in rhetoric like a scheme, and even worse, conspiracy, is it's black letter criminal law that you can't, that a conspiracy is an agreement by two or more people to commit a crime. So if your objective, even if people don't like what the objective is, even if the objective is unsavory, if it hasn't been made a crime by the legislature, then there is no conspiracy. And the reason that Bragg hasn't charged Trump with a conspiracy, even though he wants to talk about this case as if it were a conspiracy, is because what Trump planned to do here was not illegal.
Exactly. So, Andy, too, the cherry on the top, too, is, well, you know this better than anybody we could bring on. You know, you put unsavory people up there because they have contact with the person allegedly who is the criminal, a mob case, the Sheik case. You know, Andy, I never said this. I got to go back to and just rewatch that. I didn't know you then. And that Sheik case, it's just amazing what you were able to do there. I mean, it was masterful. So I never said that before, but it just occurred to me thinking about it the other day. So,
well, it's very kind of you to say.
No, it is. It is. That had to be pressure. Is that the biggest thing you've ever been involved in, would you say?
Well, I got my wife mad at me once, but other than that,
that's right. So Andy, moving forward with this, Michael Cohen. I mean, there are liars. There's all that type of stuff, but God knows what this guy may do as a witness. And these are New Yorkers, and they know of him in other ways. He's not a likable liar either. You know what I mean? There's nothing here that commends him to. We know the jurors are emotional too and all that. So what happened today as far as the battleground over Michael Cohen? Anything said about him?
I think it's pretty much the battle lines that you would expect, Dom. The defense wants the jury to perceive the case as completely rising and falling based on Michael Cohen, because he is the most essential witness in the case. So their theory of how to present the case is if they can explode Michael Cohen's testimony, or if they can, at the end of Michael Cohen's testimony, the jury thinks that he's such an out-and-out liar that, you know, if he says it's raining outside, you don't grab your umbrella, you get to look for yourself first, you know. That's the way they want to they want the case to be perceived as if Cohen got blown up on cross-examination, then the case falls, period. And what the prosecutors say is that, look, you may not like Cohen. He's a convicted felon or he's a convicted perjurer. Although there was some back and forth about whether that was allowed to be said in the opening statements or not, even though it's a fact. But what the prosecutors always want to say is, we're not telling you to convict someone based on Michael Cohen's testimony alone. Our case rises and falls on the documents, and the documents can't be cross-examined. The documents just are what they are. And what they tell the jury is, at the end of this case, you're going to conclude those documents show criminality.
And Andy, does this play in the defendant's side too? Something this weighty, trying to overthrow an election, the United States, and it's the ultimate tabloid case, particularly of Stormy Daniels when she testifies. In other words, it's tawdry, it's embarrassing. Some people might hear some of this in detail, transcript and all that, and go, oh man, this is bad. But it's not going to rise to the level of what we used to call a federal case.
Yeah, I think the thing, Dom, if I were a defense lawyer, what I would try to tell the jury, and you have to begin, you don't wait till the end for this, you begin this today, and it's a theme throughout the case, is that what the prosecutors are trying to get you to do here is something that's irrational. They're alleging that Trump stole the 2016 election by a series of things that he did in 2017. Which is not possible. You can't steal something in 2016 by doing a bunch of stuff in 2017. So because they have this cockamamie theory that doesn't make any sense, they're going to try to throw a lot of things up that will catch your attention. There's salacious detail, Stormy Daniels, Karen McDougal. They bring in the National Enquirer guy to start it all off. They talk a lot about scheming between Pecker and Cohen and Trump, even though there's nothing charged criminally out of that. And then they use explosive words like conspiracy. And what I'd be trying to say to the jury is, they think they can hoodwink you by all of this smoke. But at the end of the day, what they're asking you to find them guilty or not guilty on is a bunch of things that happened in 2017 that in and of themselves are not criminal, but they want you to think somehow stole an election months earlier. And that's what I think I would be hitting the jury with, that all this stuff is just, Bragg's case is so weak and ridiculous that he needs to do this stuff. It's usually the defense that wants to distract, but here it's the government.
That, Andy, that's well put. Almost always, the prosecution are usually these straightforward, then the flamboyant defense attorney is folksy and distracting and, in every film that you would see. That's exactly the case. When are you on today, Andy, on Fox News Channel?
Well, I think we're having a short day today because the trial adjourned early. I think it adjourned around 12:30 Eastern time. So I may be on later this afternoon with Neil Cavuto, but I think, it's going to be one of these things, Tom, where stuff is going to happen and they're going to look to me to try to explain it. And if I can explain it to myself, I'll try to explain it to you. But sometimes I can't even explain to myself what's going on here.
Good stuff, Andy, though. Love the piece, though. That's at National Review. The Trump indictment is Bragg's version of the Stop the Steal regarding the 2016 election. That's out there today. Andy, thank you. Thanks for squeezing us in.
Thanks so much, Tom.
All right, Andy McCarthy here on Talk Radio 1210. Dan, I see another answer to the side question. We may have to do confrontations in the future because these are really good ones. Today is the birthday. Happy birthday to Jack Nicholson. So, what comes to mind? A Few Good Men. But we're going to do movie quotes. We've done that a lot. Confrontations. Real or fictional? Real or fictional? Hit us with an all-time, in your view. You heard what he said about the first day here. I'd say the odds are, I don't know, given some of the antagonism you think projected toward President Trump in New York, maybe with some jurors, I don't know that you get an acquittal. but you might get a mistrial, hung jury, whatever you want to call it. And in this, that would be good enough. It's going to be salacious. Stormy Daniels, Cohen's testimony, McDougal. I don't think Trump in the end will testify, but we'll see. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board.
We got a commenter on youtube.com
Yes.
/@1210WPHT asking, did Andy McCarthy just say Pecker?
Yeah.
Yes, David Pecker is
All
indeed
right,
the
yeah, we said Pecker
yes.
40 times
And
today.
Drudge Report, if you look at the headline on the top today,
Yeah.
Dom, did you see what it says?
I didn't see it.
I'm not going to reveal it on air, but if you want to see it, go see drudgereport.com.
All right. Coming up, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. He is taking his money away from a particular college. I'll give you that story. And this is the way.
Not enough massages?
No, not enough good quarterbacking here.
Yeah.
He went there. Who knew? On a full scholarship. This is the way to hurt big college. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. They are so well heeled, it would take a lot to hurt Harvard. But they don't like it when they hear millions are being taken away, because you know what happens? We saw it at Penn. Penn just knocked off Dan, this pro-Palestinian club. You can say, that's small. You know what? I can't say this. The battles with these people is incrementalism. You're not going to defeat them overnight. They have a lot of money and power, like Penn. But they dropped this pro-Palestinian club. Why? Because of the nonsense that we're seeing at other places today. I'll tell you about Kraft. Take your calls. Maybe there will be some Dan time with Dom. Who knows? Dropping in after a weekend. You get in at 855-839-1210. Don't forget, Rich Cioli has President Trump today at 5 o'clock. A lot of buildup. I can see the lather. Trump will be in by 5. Short court day. Wow. There will be a lot to hear. 5 o'clock today here on Talk Radio 1210. Let me first, though, tell you, if you're dealing with inflammation or stiff joints, then Glyco Plus from Rescue Natural Supplements can be your ticket to a healthier spring. Glyco Plus features a unique blend of green lip muscle complex and UC2 collagen specifically designed to support joint health. Collagen, a vital component of joint cartilage, plays a crucial role in maintaining strength and flexibility. And right now, Rescue Glyco Plus is buy one, get one free for anyone with our exclusive radio code. Just use the code RELIEF to double up your order for free. Again, that's RELIEF. Call them today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. You can also use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Get back into action with less pain and more comfort. Use the code RELIEF. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Glyco Plus.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Taylor Swift is not just a tortured poet.
UC Berkeley.
How to build an empire.
One of our sister stations went all Taylor. They played the entire album on Friday.
What do you think about doing that here on this station?
No.
All Taylor all the time? Surprised none of those students at UC Berkeley are wearing a mask. That's very encouraging. Maybe they're coming around. Artistry and entrepreneurship, Taylor style.
Yep.
You know, I might have to have that conversation with my girls. Daddy is going to pay for college, but if you take a Taylor Swift elective, that's coming out of your pocket.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, You'll owe even more tomorrow, and it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Today is Earth Day, but you can celebrate all year round by switching to eco-friendly cleaning products. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
Don't let them silence you. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan time with Dom. And Dom, I got to ask, did you imbibe in any 420 festivities with Roe on Saturday?
Oh, no, but I had a nice Chianti.
Oh, did you?
Several of them, yes.
Yeah, thanks to Leslie, yeah.
No, I tried a different brand because I couldn't get over to Jersey to get it. Wasn't quite up to Leslie's taste, but it was great.
Oh, well, I did some research. How many dispensaries do you think there are in like the 42, 55, 73, 70 corridor here in South Jersey when you go over the bridge? What would be your guess over under?
8.86.
26 dispensaries, Dom.
Wow.
Yeah. Within my house, I have about, I think, 5 or 6 within a 3-mile radius. It's nuts. Not that I know or anything.
Tells us a lot about Jersey. It's already problematic. Now they're high most of the time.
So, Dom, I got to ask, a new show came out on Max, HBO Max, and it's Conan O'Brien. And what he does is, I know we're not huge fans of Conan, but I kind of want to steal this idea. He has a podcast out, and obviously has a big fan base from that podcast. And what he did is he put out to listeners, if you have like a cool life or something, I'll come out to meet you. I just want to do what you're doing for the day, essentially. And it follows Conan O'Brien going out to his listeners' houses or their jobs and essentially doing what they do for a day. So is that something Dom Giordano would, like Earl Antacone, he's a roofer. Would you go up on a roof with Earl for a day? Could we do an episode on that?
Sure. What could possibly
Hassan
go
Bin
wrong?
Sober, he imbibes in the 420. Is that could you do a brownie with Hassan Bin Sober?
Is this something you were going to plot with Greg Stocker? I can hear the.
I love it. Whatever Bruce in Northeast does. I don't know what that guy does, but it's got to be something interesting.
That's Robert of Ben Salem is a DoorDash guy. Yeah.
How about a trip to the family room in front of the fireplace with a Sherlock pipe with Joe and Exton?
That one I definitely could do.
Yeah?
Yes.
So go check out, I guess, Conan O'Brien Must Go if you're into that thing, or maybe we'll do Dom Giordano Must Go with the listeners of the Dom Giordano program. I got to get an update on the gopher, the squirrels, the squatters of the Dom Giordano Dome.
I have that on my list here. What's happened is we got another squirrel. So it was 2 squirrels. And I went inside to get the proper hook and all that to open up the cage. Ro decides to open it up with her hands.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Lets the squirrel out. Nothing happened. But we both came upon the remedy for groundhogs anyhow, is to take Freddie's kitty litter with some quantity in it and place it right where the hole is.
Wait, what do you mean by some quantity?
Well, you can figure that out. Yes. And apparently, groundhogs get afraid if they think a cat or dog might be nearby.
So you're almost marking the territory.
We're marking it.
I
That's
like that
what
a
we're
lot.
told to do. Yes.
Oh, that's a great idea. So have you considered adopting any of the squirrels to become one of those people that walk with a squirrel on your shoulder down the street?
The squirrel was a lot worse than the groundhog.
Really?
The groundhog, we're not coming at the squirrel. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then one more final thing I want to suggest people watch. The Jinx Part 2 is now out, Dom, and that's the story of Robert Durst. And I don't know if you remember the first version of that one, Part 1, but at the end, he essentially admits to some crazy stuff. So this is a follow-up on the Jinx with Robert Durst's story, now available on Max, but that's all I got for Dan Time with Dom.
All right, coming up, big 2 o'clock hour, we have Dom's Money Melody. I see some great ones here as far as a confrontation. We're going to talk with Dawn Kiefer, representative who heads the Freedom Caucus in Pennsylvania. They have a really important case trying to stop Biden from using the federal government in voting in 2024. It's called one of the more consequential cases out there. I just wanted you to see, it's not just about mail-in balloting. It is about election integrity. That means fighting on every manner, shape, or form of battlefield here with these progressives. Also, the Supreme Court hearing today, whether you have a right to be homeless and out there sleeping in parks, etc. And Robert Kraft has just announced what he's going to do, pulling his money from a university. I hope we see 100 other billionaires or millionaires at least, or 100 millionaires say, that's it. We're pulling our money. That's the only thing that seems to work with these clowns. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in on Talk Radio 1210.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET. 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Do you want more control over your business spending? Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management platform designed to save you time and money. Ramp offers unlimited corporate cards with spend controls you can customize to stop wasteful spending before it happens. Ramp makes expense reports a breeze by automatically collecting receipts and matching them to the right transaction. You'll close your books in hours instead of days. Ramp allows you to see all your company spend in one place, so you can make quick, informed decisions about your business finances. Plus, Ramp will share insights based on your spending to help you cut costs. Over 15,000 businesses have added up to 5% to their bottom line with Ramp. You can be one of them. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. RAMP.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers, and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices because we need the room for all of our construction vehicles. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krepnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Spring is here. Get ahead of summer pricing and availability. Call CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers. Family owned and operated, serving Montgomery and Bucks counties for over 50 years. With 24/7 service and trained technicians, CNC will make sure your system is running efficiently before you get stuck without cooling on blistering hot days coming up. 0% financing options are available. Schedule an estimate today at cc-hvac.com.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time, and one of the favorite things for progressives, we saw that during COVID, we see it now at Columbia. Let's move everything online. One of the biggest scams out there, even at the college level, you're moving classes online for $90,000 a year. Why? Because they have these unrelenting mobs that are saying, we're just going to continue to resist this. What are you going to do about it? So Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, he might be a billionaire. I think he's a billionaire. I know it's rare to be a billionaire. So is removing all of his money from Columbia. He went there on a full scholarship, and he talks movingly about it. And you know what usually happens when somebody like that does that? They also talk to other friends that might be 100 millionaires plus. We saw it at Penn. Penn has just kicked out this Palestinian club. You start to see when one of them does it, it becomes, it works both ways. They think they're winning here. I'm looking at Yale where there's violence. I'm looking at Columbia where it is made, and a lot of it has its heart. It's anti-American also. But they're not going to relent. Hamas and the attack on October 7th, all that, it doesn't matter. They're having fun at this, too. And they have a goal to shut things down, to force people when they stomp their feet to get their way, and they will not stop it. Why? They've been enabled over the course of time. They're in and out. The daughter of Ilhan Omar claims she's now homeless because they've kicked her out of Columbia.
Some people did something.
And the dining hall. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's amazing who these people are. $90,000 a year. Some colleges are going to be $100,000 a year soon. And I know the argument, who would do that? They do it because it's a piece of paper. It's a member of the club. It's the credential that you get coming through this. There's still an infrastructure on that. But Kraft pulling support for his university that he's really, I haven't seen the full numbers over the years. As happened here at Penn, you're going to see more of that. And Penn hasn't fully gotten its mind right, but they have calmed down, I think, from what they were originally, with the removal of the president, with removal of a lot of money that's going on. And this also sets up the problem again for Joe Biden, because you have in places like Michigan and other places widespread, at least among Democrat voters, enough support for this. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow to see how many people vote not committed, whatever the language is, to take another shot back at Biden. The race is tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see turnout. I'll be interested to watch at mail-in balloting how much Republicans do with that. I told you over the weekend that President Trump announced on Truth Social, vote absentee, vote early voting, or show up on election day. They're all perfectly good ways to vote. Yet we still had a few callers a day, some of my camp, a few callers a day still rejecting mail-in balloting. Last week, Doug Mastriano said, this is what you have to do. Scott Perry was even more about it, more in that camp. And now President Trump over the weekend saying that. So we'll see. This is kind of a spring training tomorrow. What happens here? The races that I'm looking at, of course, are the Fitzpatrick-Houck race out in Bucks County. I mean, Houck has been a tougher candidate than Brian Fitzpatrick has had before in the primary. In the general, he should beat the woman he beat the last time running again in Bucks County, I think. But Houck has raised a good bit of money, high profile, et cetera. So it'll be interesting to see with all this back and forth with Fitzpatrick, what happens there. Also, who Attorney General in Pennsylvania, as we know, has a lot of power. Who will be the Democrat nominee? I like Craig Williams on the Republican side. But that could be a pretty interesting race. And again, it will determine a lot of different things. So it's not inconsequential. The big problem is that Pennsylvania waits and doesn't do their primary early enough. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. One other thing, this clown, Representative Benny Johnson, over the weekend proposes a bill that would strip President Trump of Secret Service protection if convicted and sentenced to jail. He wants Trump to be completely without Secret Service, even if he's going into jail with that.
When they throw the convict in there. And
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
stick him to the curb.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. And you heard Andy McCarthy break it down. I think he did it really well. That here it's very convoluted right out of the box. Their case is completely Rube Goldberg. That's exactly what it is. And will they be able to get a New York jury just out of Stop Trump to buy all this? I'd say the odds are no. Maybe not acquittal, but something mistrial or a hung jury, really. That's more likely what's going to happen here. We started off today, though. I guess people are over it. We didn't have one call yet about Mike Churchill Johnson, the Speaker of the House. And where do we go next? Well, now that he's caved in like this with the Democrats, they want to continue to rescue him. And we're going to see more. What else does he have to offer them? But I don't think politically it's smart to try to take Johnson out now. That would just create more and more difficulty. But it is a real low moment. We have a Republican representative from Florida now with a bill to say you can't be waving foreign flags on the floor of the House after the Democrats erupted with Ukrainian flags. It's stunning to see Republicans came away with nothing in this, and it helped Joe Biden. All right, hit me with that all-time great confrontation. Let's go to Ray in New Jersey. Ray, what's the confrontation?
Hey, Dom, nice show. Long-time listener, second-time caller.
Thank you.
Going to go with the Cuban Missile Crisis, October 1962. The U.S. deploys missiles in Italy and Turkey. Russia responds, goes to Cuba. We ain't having that. And for those 13 days from October 16th to October 28th, you have the blockade. You have the U.S. calling emergency meeting of the Security Council, where we went from DEFCON 3 to DEFCON 2, where you have B-52s and B-47s ready to be deployed in 15 minutes. And and they resolved it somehow. So I'm going to go Cuban Missile Crisis.
Excellent choice. Moments
Sounds like a
away. That's the
reporter.
closest we've been to nuclear war. By the way, members of Congress, Dan, this will be cut 10. Eric Swalwell found a way to make himself even worse than usual over the weekend. He was talking about how he can identify with the average American because a guy who makes on paper probably $250,000 a year still has student loan debt. Why does he still have student loan debt? Well, he has it so that he can comprehend what you're going through by having.
He keeps it around.
He keeps it around
just
to
hanging
do
around.
that, just like AOC. Here's what Eric Swalwell said.
And I have stayed in the Congress because I've got 3 little kids. I've got $75,000 in student loan debt, and we have childcare, costs and issues.
You gotta fly across the country. You're not representing.
Right, but I figure by living those experiences, I can be an advocate for families who have student loan debt.
Oh my God! Exactly what we need more of here. All right.
Also, I have another thing. Can I just interject this real quick? Biden was asked today about steel tariffs, and he again had a response that I don't know, Dom. Why does he keep going with this?
Just the steel tariffs. Are you concerned that will hurt your relationship with Xi Jinping or new relationship with him?
No.
Why?
Don't jump.
What is the don't jump?
Yeah.
It's like the 5th time now that he's used it.
Don't. Yeah.
Just don't
yeah,
jump.
Yeah. Now it's don't jump. It was don't before. One other thing I find almost impossible to believe, and I want to blame Biden for it. Am I missing something though? Now, Dan, I pull rank on you on shopping. I don't like you ordering things and have them waiting there or delivered to you.
Headed to the grocery market today to do my shopping down. I pull right into a spot, give them my number, and they bring out the groceries and load it in my trunk. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And how much you pay for it. What would you say?
Much.
What would you say is the number one grocery store? I have the top 7. This one gets 16.6% of grocery shoppers in the entire Philadelphia area.
Can I make my guess?
Yes.
ShopRite.
No, ShopRite is only at 3.9%.
Really?
I was surprised.
Can I make one more guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Giant.
I would have guessed Acme over Giant, and I would have been right. Acme is at 15.7. Giant is at 13.2. Here's an interesting one. Costco has moved up. They're at 6% of people listening in our area shop at Costco. Wegmans, which I really like, but expensive, 5.3. ShopRite, as I said, 3.9. Target's behind that. The number one place where people are, according to Axios, doing their grocery shopping, and it's by a good margin, 16.6%, is Walmart. Now, why is that? I'm not doing my grocery shopping at Walmart. Look at that fine cut of meat over there. Or that give me some salmon portions there at Walmart.
It just feels wrong.
It does.
Like buying produce from Walmart. Like there are times where we're in Walmart and we're saying we got to do our grocery shopping. Should we just knock it out now? And Macy's like, no, let's go drop this off and I'll head off to X instead.
Yes, exactly. Giant is fine, or Acme. Acme is the most Philadelphia brand and market, I think.
Shafe on YouTube suggests Aldi ?
No, not on there. Now that is low cost too, but is Walmart, Dan, because of inflation, because of what's happened? How is Walmart, and it's only happened the last 2 years, become the number one grocery shopping destination in our area? I don't even know if there's that many Walmarts. How many are there? 5, 6, 7, something like that?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot?
South Philly's got the Super Walmart right there. You got one over near Port Richmond, another one with the grocery
10?
section.
Yeah, are there 10? But how is Walmart in a traditional, people used to shop at Giordano's. I remember that. That was tremendous. People going to Walmart now. I think it's inflation. I think it's Biden. Okay, right now, though.
So I got a 16 in the immediate area.
Oh, 16 Walmarts.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a call if you shop at Walmart, though. How do you get over the hurdle that Dan and I have? So right now, though, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
All right, we're playing for a 4-pack of tickets to see the Reading Phillies versus the Bowie Boy Sox at First Energy in Reading, Pennsylvania on Fight Cancer Night, Wednesday, June 26th. Phillies legend Charlie Manuel will host a free photo session during the game. No more. When you think of Avuncular, when you think of a great guy, you got to think of Charlie Manuel. Dan, what's your backstory?
Yeah, Dom. So I got this one actually from Jim Kelly, who's a DJ in his spare time. And we were talking about famous confrontations today. And a couple of years ago, there was a very big confrontation involving a person who took this song that was pretty big back in the 70s, but not huge. But in the 90s, turned it into a sensation, Dom. So I'm going to play a song that was originally done in the late 70s. But I want to know who took the song in the 90s and made it into a massive hit. And I want to know both the artist and the name of the song today of the one that uses this sample, this instrumental for their popular song, Dom. So I'm going to play a song, and I want to know who took this song, created a new song out of it, and blasted to just huge popularity in the 90s with it, Dom. Take a listen.
The champion of dance, his moves will put you in a trance, and he never leaves the disco alone. Arrogance, but not conceit. As a man, he's complete, my creme de la creme. Please take me home.
So the instrumental here there, Dom, it was taken and used by another person involved in a very famous confrontation in the 90s and turned into a very big hit. I want to know the name of that hit from the 90s and the person who sings it, Dom.
All right, let's hit you with that. 855-839-1210. Jump in, be the winner today. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you need to do is just push pound 1210.
Rich Zeoli.
So I just want to make sure my take on Woodrow Wilson is strong and clear and nobody has any questions. I hate the man's guts.
What about Edith Wilson? What do you think of her?
I hate her too.
Okay.
When I can't sleep, I sit there and remind myself of all the reasons why I hate Woodrow Wilson. To lull myself.
Instead of counting sheep, you count reasons to hate Woodrow Wilson.
Exactly. It's a very effective strategy, let me tell you.
Rich Zeoli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, it's John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with cancer or undergoing treatments that cause severe fatigue or brain fog, medical hydration may be right for you. Dr. Molly Fantasia of Innovative Medical Associates has more than 30 years experience in helping cancer patients to improve their quality of life.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Nutrients delivered right to the cells support your immune system through surgery, chemotherapy, or wherever you may be on your cancer journey. Visit innovativemedicalassociates.com to schedule a free consultation with Dr. Molly in their Marlton, New Jersey office. And join us on Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 for Health Watch to learn more about the benefits of medical hydration for cancer, autoimmune diseases, and more.
Stockbrokers love to paint themselves as transparent. But if you are not aware of all the fees taken out of your portfolio, can you really trust your broker?
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert, from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania.
When Wall Street hides fees, you are being lied to because they're taking part of your money you didn't know was going to be taken. Transparency is a word that's really batted around a lot and seldom seen. Crashproof makes their transparency obvious by recording the meetings. They're demonstrating we have nothing to hide.
All the things that were said become legally binding. Wall Street wouldn't record their meetings. They don't want whatever said in that office to be legally binding. And so it's a little too dangerous for them to record.
Learn why recording financial meetings is the only way to guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Register for one of the Crashproof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Today is opening statements in Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York. Classes are canceled today at Delaware State University after a shooting on campus over the weekend. And the Voorhees Town Center in Camden County will remain closed until further notice because of Friday's fire.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Don't miss my exclusive interview with President Donald Trump today at 5 p.m. after his first day in court, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Don't miss it.
It's the Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. Before we give you the clue, I just saw this, and I wanted to remind you of it. Scott Presler just tweeted out that Bucks County now has a plus 2,414 registered Republicans. I'll give you the details on that coming up. But hopefully, you'll be optimistic about what's happening here in Pennsylvania. Let's hear the clue today.
The champion of dance, his moves will put you in a trance, and he never leaves the disco alone. Arrogance, but not conceit.
So, Don, what you hear right now is He's the Greatest Dancer by Sister Sledge, which was taken, the sample was used, the instrumental was used, and turned into another song in the 90s by someone involved in a confrontation. We want to know what was the name of the song that was huge in the 90s using the same instrumental, and by who was involved in this confrontation, Dom?
All right, let's go to Alex. Alex, what do you have today?
We got We Get Down by Rampage.
No.
Thanks, Alex. Let's try Trish in Westville, New Jersey. All right, Trish, what's your answer? All right, Trish.
Trish, you there?
Maybe
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Trish, what's your answer? Hi.
Hi, how are you, Dom?
Good, Trish.
My answer is Will Smith. Get jiggy with it.
All right, nicely played. That's exactly right, Trish. And enjoy Charlie Manuel night.
Woo, congratulations.
And you are the winner today. Absolutely, yeah.
Congratulations, Trish. And I want to bring in Bill here, who has an answer for today's side question of famous confrontations, real or fictional. Bill, what is the confrontation I'm referring to with this Money Melody, sir?
Well, Chris Rock made some remarks about Jada Pinkett Smith, and Will Smith just did not like it at the Academy Awards in 2022. Got up out of his chair, walked over to Chris Rock and smacked him.
It's a great, notable confrontational there.
We'll put you down for that one. 855. Congratulations to Trish. Now, Scott Presler has been on this. He tweets out just a little while ago. Bucks County, the numbers the most eye-popping of all. Registration. Back in May of 2020, Democrats held a 15,552 vote margin. Now it's a precarious 1,710. Each week it gets updated. He updates on Twitter, and we try to update you that what's happening here is a change is going on big time in places like Bucks County. Now, you still have these enormous deficits in places like Montgomery County. We know that. We know the suburban area. But I'm hopeful because Chester County has a number of lawsuits going on about all kinds of issues that have gone on for a while, fighting back on how the election will actually be conducted tomorrow. Now, can you show up with 400 or 500 votes from a nursing home? This is all spring training for the big election. All right, that's what it's about. 855-839-1210. That'll get you a line. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you need to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you on board. Now, here are the types of things we have to keep alerting people about to remember what this election's about. One of the ones that bothers me still the most, the Department of Justice over the weekend, I think they issued this on Friday, they exonerated the FBI in the matter of surveillance of targeting Catholics. They said they did not intend to target traditional Catholics as potential racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists. The review noted the analysis was incorrectly conflated and an investigative subject's religious views with alleged domestic terrorist activities. Findings from the 120-day review, which was handled by the Justice Department Inspector General, ordered by Congress, were outlined in letters sent. Now, this is mainly the Richmond office. And every time the FBI director comes before the House, this is the matter that sets me off, that Christopher Wray, that somehow or another we are unable to get the people in the Richmond office where this started to have to testify. Of course, the Department of Justice is going to review that. What we had here come to this conclusion, that these people were being viewed as extremists. The review stated that the suspect expressed neo-Nazi rhetoric, described himself as a Catholic clerical fascist. The FBI wrote in a letter to a family member that he needed to buy guns, explosives, other weaponry in case to make total war against the satanic government and Zionist devil-worshipping bankers who control it. But they took it from that individual and somehow or another got to people that were going to masses that were Latin masses in Latin, traditional Catholic masses. Bill Donahue and others, hopefully Bill Donahue, the Catholic League, will have on the show this week because he has been in the forefront of documenting this, pushing back on this. This is the type of thing, well, it's the same thing that happened with Mark Houck, the weaponization of government. They've done it literally 50 to 100 times that we know of in major cases. It's the type of stuff that is the nightmare for any American, because how do you fight back against this? How are you able to overcome this? Imagine the horror. Houck, 7:30 on a Sunday morning with his 7 kids out there in Bucks County, and the FBI long gun shows up. I think there was a state police there also to take him away on something that even Larry Krasner would not prosecute as anti the pro-life groups as he is. Okay? So this type of stuff is ongoing, big time. Now, in a moment, we're going to talk with Dawn Kiefer. She is the head of the Freedom Caucus in Pennsylvania. Saw a piece today at the Federalist. They are taking on the Biden-Harris weaponization of the federal government in a wide variety of manners to, it's kind of like Zuckerbucks. It's Biden bucks to essentially pay them all into the guise of all we're trying to do is turn out the vote. Now, you know what, when we first stumbled on Zuckerbucks and that group that had $411 million, the idea was they were coming up with satellite offices, more information, churning out the votes in heavily Democratic areas. That appears to be stopped in Pennsylvania. That from Zuckerberg. But what about from the federal government? But there's all manner of things that this Freedom Caucus is engaged in election integrity. And the point is this. It's not just about mail-in balloting, increasing banking votes. It's also about legitimate things that Democrats have been up to and trying to rein them into the letter of the law, to black letter law. That's all that we're asking when it comes to election law. You can't make these things up. You can't do whatever you want just to skirt as they did in 2020. That's where the battle is. All right, phone lines to get in are 855-839-1210. We'll get a winner today, too. These confrontations are really good, and we'll put your name in the hat for the big prize at the end of the week. Hey, the road to the NBA Finals starts now, and new customers on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino can go on their own playoff run with $150. Just place any $5 bet. You'll get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. Bet on 3-pointers made in the game, We told you about Embiid tonight. I take the under 30 points. First basket score, just a wide array of things. Go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The sky will remain clear overnight. We'll get down to a chilly 40 for tomorrow. High 68, partly sunny. On Wednesday, a few more clouds, high 69. On Thursday, 61, partly cloudy. And then on Friday, lots of sunshine, high 63.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey. AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps, or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Legacy Box is offering a 60% discount. Order yours today and take advantage of our best Mother's Day sale ever. Visit legacybox.com/value, and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value for 60% off. legacybox.com/value.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra on a tribute to Philly sports fans at Wildwood Catholic Academy on Saturday, June 29th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, and a member of FDIC.
Spring is the time to bring a breath of fresh air into your home with a bouquet of irresistible deals on home renovations at Colonial Marble and Granite. Put $0 down and pay 0% interest for 18 months on every marble, granite, and quartz countertop of $19.99 or higher. Restrictions apply. See colonialmarble.net for details. That's colonialmarble.net for details.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it's a two-pronged approach, 2024. Of course, offense, President Trump tweeting out over the weekend, absentee balloting, early voting, voting on Election Day, they're all good. But also defense, and defense even before the game fully gets operational, election integrity. The Federalist has a big piece up today saying this go-to legislator on election law has the most consequential array of things that matter, particularly in a swing state, the big swing state, Pennsylvania. She's the head of the Freedom Caucus. She joins us again from Harrisburg, I believe. Representative Dawn Kiefer back with us on Talk Radio 1210. Representative, welcome in, and that is a glowing piece in the Federalist.
That was a very flattering piece.
Well, on one of the most important things to get involved in. So, your case is similar with Biden to, for listeners, the Zuckerbucks. What exactly are you probing or challenging?
So we filed our case back in, I believe it was February now, and it's a civil rights case as legislators, saying that the executive branch, President Biden, Governor Shapiro, and the Department of State usurped our constitutional rights. These are rights that were delegated to us as legislators that can't be given away, that they can't take, and these are specifically designated in the Constitution: time, place, and manner. So it was Shapiro's automatic voter registration, the president's executive order that made basically charged all of his state agencies to go out and do voter registration drives. And you also had your, I'm trying to think, you also had the Secretary of State at the time who did an order. I apologize. Who did an order that basically told the counties to not follow the law.
Okay, so the most consequential, though, according to the Federalists, but that's quite an array of them, is the so-called Biden bucks, where we're marshaling the entire federal government. You're given what you're trying to do there. Where does that stand right now?
Okay, so so once we filed the case on that, so it went to the third district court. The judge read it and she said, no, you don't have standing as legislators on behalf of the entire General Assembly. We believe she's wrong, so we have filed a motion to reconsider, and we have also filed a petition. It essentially says, we want an emergency hearing by the Supreme Court on this issue of standing. This is an issue. This issue of standing, when they say there have been no cases that have been found on election, most of those cases were thrown out on technicality, and numerous cases were on this issue of standing. Do we have standing as state legislators and as the candidate? And that's something the Supreme Court has not answered, and it's something that needs to be answered because there have been conflicting decisions.
Well, I would say, Representative, and we saw this in 2020, if the Supreme Court really is going to be the institution they should, to your point, they have to step into this and a myriad of other issues. If they balk, if they let this go on, we're not going to have any confidence in this election. They are the ultimate body. They have to be involved early and often on this. They neglected it in 2020. Now, this would serve as a model then, particularly in the other swing states. If you get traction with this, that's what the Federalist says. And I couldn't agree with you more. Give me, since you're in the forefront of this in Pennsylvania, where we are here in Pennsylvania, this is a big thing you're doing with Biden. How are you feeling versus 2020 on the issue of defense? That would mean election integrity. How are you feeling things are going?
Well, from the judicial standpoint, I don't feel like it's going well. I mean, this is one of, another Hail Mary that we're throwing here, trying to get in a better position before the general election in November. But there has been little changes at the state level, and you have all of this ambiguity, and so while we do delegate our powers as legislators to the executive to promulgate laws or minister laws, we never delegate the authority to break the law, to not follow the law, number one. Number two, agencies do not have the power to interpret the law, and that's what they continuously do. Oh, well, we understand what you wrote to mean X, Y, Z. Where the law is not clear, they must take it to the courts. And they did that numerous times. In 2020, when the law wasn't what they wanted it to be, right? They ran to the Supreme Court, because we have this thing called King's Bench power, ran to the Supreme Court and asked for a decision. And that's how we got our drop boxes, because our statute as written does not provide for drop boxes. But what the Pennsylvania Supreme Court did was said, oh, well, we believe those are satellite offices, and those are provided for in statute. Therefore, you are allowed to have drop boxes.
So what's the remedy?
Trying to stop those things.
Yeah, so that's it exactly. Now, how do you feel on the offense side? I haven't asked you, so I don't know. People like Doug Mastriano, we had Scott Perry on, President Trump over the weekend. I've been saying, look, it's regrettable that we got to this point with Act 77, et cetera, but that if we don't do mail-in balloting effectively, somewhat effectively, we don't have much of a chance here. How do you feel about that?
So I believe there's been a full throttle on mail-in ballots. I'm not sure that that's what's going to win or lose this election, frankly, but where I believe the ground game needs to be is all boots on the ground, right? You be a minority inspector, majority inspector. All the candidates need to have their delegates in observing the canvassing of the ballots, and that includes all of those mail-in ballots, right? Getting these numbers, requiring the counties to follow the law and to actually reconcile before certifying any election numbers, because we have this continuous contradiction almost in every election where they certify one number, but it's not reflected in the state SURE system. And one time the secretary will say, yes, that's where we're getting all our data from. The next time, oh no, it's individual counties. You can't have it both ways. And so knowing all of these things in advance, knowing what we're supposed to be looking for, documenting it, that's going to be our offense.
How about, you mentioned Governor Shapiro, and ominously, and you're aware of this, I think listeners are a little bit, this is months before the general election. He rolls this out in connection with Homeland Security, cybersecurity, and these others. I would tell you, you would be one of the top 3 targets where they're going to say misinformation. And maybe,
absolutely,
yeah, you're right up there. You know, when I look across Pennsylvania, as far as mainstream people, not people that are on the outlier, you're ahead of the Freedom Caucus. You're a fountain of misinformation. Josh Shapiro's probably got a big bulletin board up there with like the mob, you know, and they got Dawn Kiefer's face up there.
And that's not the only reason that they came up with those commissions. In my opinion, I've been following that very, very closely. And if you look within the last month or so, all of a sudden they're running this narrative, and it's a concerted effort of all the threats, the high level of threats against election workers. It's a very, contentious atmosphere that's out there, and we're losing them. There's a high turnover, and it's this narrative over and over again. The Brennan Center did an article on it, and it's based upon feelings. Like since 2020, there have been 16 prosecutions for election threats or harassment. So it's a false narrative that's out there that's scaring our election workers away, or that's putting this whole, look how anxious and the vitriol that's out there. They're ginning this up, in my opinion. They're provoking it as part of that task force. I don't think the task force is just to go after what they're going to classify as mis or disinformation, right? Anything that challenges them, regardless of facts, is misinformation or disinformation. God forbid, anybody actually look to see what happened. I'm just asking for the numbers to add up. It's fundamentals. It's 101, right? If my county certifies this number, right? If they tell me that, 200,000 people voted, I want to know who those 200,000 people are. And they have yet to be able to
if you
do
take
that.
a moment, too, for listeners, this is how much people are paying attention to this and how sharp this audience is. People call me and they throw out the term chain of custody a lot, and that's critical. Give me your thoughts on that. What happened in 2020 versus now? What can be done to ensure chain of custody once the ballots are moving, I guess, either electronically or otherwise, from one point to another? What do you say about that?
Absolutely. That is critical. And we have been challenging the Department of State in Pennsylvania on that chain of custody, which is all internal control, right? Systems of internal control that they need to have. It needs to be processes and procedures. You don't make it up as you go. These are all documented. This is what business does all the time. We pay hundreds of millions of dollars for these different accounting firms and logistical people to come in. There's no reason that we shouldn't have systems of internal control. And there are none in the Department of State. To this day, there are none. So for general guidance and directives to the county, just so you can make sure that, A, do I have that chain of custody? Can I tell you where that ballot is from point A to point B? Where are we at? Where are we at in that system? That's not a difficult thing to do. Amazon does it every damn day.
Yes, and they're They certainly have a bigger task than that. They have 1,000,000 items to deliver. Well, would you do this?
Right.
Keep my producer, Dan, in the loop on these ongoing things. I just wanted listeners to be aware the Freedom Caucus is out there, among others, playing these things well in advance of where we are. In your case, with the Biden bucks, is one of the biggest in the country. So thanks for what you're doing. Just update us, would you, of what goes on? Anything you want to talk about, we're here.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dom.
You're welcome. Representative Dawn Kiefer here on Talk Radio 1210. My feelings on Al Schmidt. Look, we don't want election workers, certainly poll watchers and others, to be threatened in any way, shape, or form. But you hear what some of the concerns are. So what you can do is what she's doing. Or you could throw up your hands and say, well, they're going to do all these things, and nothing seems to stop them. The Trump people talking about 100,000 people out there, lawyers and others, in the swing states, and people like Dawn Kiefer here, who heads the Freedom Caucus, the lawsuits, the things they're involved in legislatively and otherwise. Not easy here in Pennsylvania, though. This is a state they desperately want to win. In fact, in Scranton last week, President Biden said to the assembly people in his home area there, here's what he said: "You're my ticket to the White House," Biden told the room, "you, Pennsylvania." There you go. I can't say it any better than that. By the way, President Trump recognizes that, too, with the primary tomorrow. He'll be on with Rich today at 5 o'clock. That is a big interview, particularly on the cusp of the primary and moving forward tomorrow. All right, it is the lightning round at 855-839-1210. Today's side question, coming off the birthday of Jack Nicholson, that confrontation in A Few Good Men. Hit us with that all-time confrontation, real or fictional. We'll get the answer next on Talk Radio 1210.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Well, maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you've painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help you get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at goguida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
And paid for by 24/7 Holdings, LLC. Attention business owners. Are you tired of those hefty credit card fees cutting into your profits? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act, there's now a game-changing solution to save you at least 95% on your processing expenses, guaranteed. Imagine processing unlimited transactions for as low as $49 a month. Our patented software gives your customers 2 price points based on how they pay, full or credit card price. It's that simple. And here's the best part. You can enjoy 24/7 support, next-day funding, a virtual terminal, online gateway, and ACH processing. Our patented solution is available in all 50 states, making it the go-to choice for thousands of businesses looking to eliminate processing fees for good. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, call 800-396-1171 now. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save 95% on processing fees, guaranteed. Call 800-396-1171 and make the change today. That's 800-396-1171. Again, 800-396-1171.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right. Today, Dan has been one. He stumbled into this. One of the all-time greats. Be ready to go. All-time confrontation coming off A Few Good Men. By the way, Athen K. I'm not going to try the last name until tomorrow, Dan. I want it phonetically in 18 syllables. Tweets out, this is the first time, and he's got great stuff on this, that all 67 counties in Pennsylvania made gains, Republicans gained over Democrats in registration. Now, that is incredible. It's Presler and people like that out there. But you ought to have a sense that it's going to be incredibly close. That's why mail-in balloting, but the defensive side, you heard Kiefer, we need 10 Kiefers out there on the defensive side. All right, let's go to Jim in Newtown Square. Jim, what's your confrontation?
Mine is a realist. When Frank Rizzo confronted that reporter that you guys know.
Yeah.
And he went off on that guy.
Absolutely. Just played it the other day. Drew, as one of my favorites, Dan, fictionally. What's the confrontation, Drew?
Hey, Dom, thank you very much. In the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, R.P. McMurphy, who's played by Jack Nicholson, has his ongoing feud with Nurse Ratched throughout the movie. And it finally comes to a point where she wouldn't let them watch the World Series. So that, along with other things she has done, he just can't take it no more. R.P. McMurphy just grabs her by the throat and just tries to strangle her.
Yeah, but you know who I like in this confrontation? Nicholson at his best. You're right. I like, and I think she won the Academy Award. Nurse Ratched fighting back with a guy like this. Yeah, that is a battle, Dan. That is a battle, not just physically. It's unbelievable. Robert in Ben Salem. Robert, what do you have today?
Hi, Dom. I will keep it short and I will go with the classic Godzilla versus King Kong. You guys have a great day.
All right. Yeah, that's, that's when they do the Superman and Batman thing. How's that a confrontation? And what did Affleck play in that?
Well, their
Batman,
city's
right?
ruined because of these two guys fighting. Come on.
Yeah, what? How does Batman fight Superman? Superman, you don't need any of the others.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes, I mean, he's Superman.
So are you taking Godzilla or King Kong in the fight?
I think that's a pretty even one. I'd have to go with
Godzilla breathes plasma, though.
Yeah, I have to go with Godzilla.
Yeah,
There's more of that. Yeah. I like the first Godzilla, though, with the Japanese.
creep.
That's Godzilla talking to King Kong.
Richard in Westchester. All right, Richard, what's yours?
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. The Monty Python confrontation between the French castle and King Arthur.
That is a funny one. That is a very good,
Python
interesting.
reference,
Tim in Burlington County. Tim, what's yours?
Yes, sir. I would say in the movie Outlaw Josie Wales, when he has to, him with an armful of groceries has to face off against 5 or 6 Union soldiers, and he says, "You going to pull those pistols or whistle Dixie?"
Eastwood had a way with every film, Dan. I count the shots in all this turmoil. I don't know how many I fired. Well, do you, punk? All right, Dan, this is quite a field to choose from today. Let's hear some of the favorites.
So I'm going to go in categories, Dom. The category for the biggest enemy out of all of them in a fight would be Dwayne and Valley Forge taking the Exorcist versus the Devil in a confrontation.
Good. Yep.
One that spurred a money melody, Dom. Bill in Bucks County, and not until he called with Will Smith did we think to do Will Smith as our money melody. So Bill in Bucks County should go into as a finalist. Jim in Newtown Square with the local ties. Best local answer with Rizzo and the Crumb Creep. And the best answer tying to the theme of the side question being related to Jack Nicholson's birthday. How about McMurphy and Nurse Ratchet from Drew and Upper Darby, Dom? Those are my 4 finalists. You pick the final.
I kind of like, we want something not just to be the most consequential, the Devil. I kind of like Ratchet and McMurphy because Ratchet, even though almost she puts her nurse's hat back on, like nothing happened. That is an unbelievable. And Nicholson is, if you've never seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it's one of his best. All right.
Drew and Upper Darby in that.
Let's go that. All right, we're out of time. Back tomorrow with a lot of big stuff. But Rich Cioli today. Rich coming up, and he has President Trump at 5 o'clock today exclusively. All that here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions.